everyone, welcome back. I'm sorry there hasn't been a video in a little while. I have moved house. You can still see some things that need a bit of sorting, but they will be organised soon. I have a new filming space set up, so I'm all ready to record videos. So today we have a K-beauty haul from Yesstyle.com and a get ready with me with the products that I bought, plus a few other things thrown in because I didn't quite have a full face. But there's skincare, there's makeup. Instead of me whispering on at you for too long, let's just get started. With this on my face, I'm going to quickly talk you through the things that I purchased off of Yesstyle. So first of all, in the skincare area, I have this from Nacific. I'm going to go with Nacific. It's the Phyto Niacin Whitening Essence, and I'm hoping this is going to help with some of the pigmentation that I have on my skin from just like sun exposure and stuff, like little, not really bad sunspots, but I've got some little patches of pigmentation from the sun. So this is what it looks like. Nice simple packaging. I also bought this, the Royal Vita Propolis Ampoule from Dr. Ceuracle. I quite like this. This is triangular, like that's unusual. Oh, it's not triangular inside. Okay, inside is tiny. Wow, okay. This is smaller than I was expecting. Look at that. It's so dinky. It's so tiny. I'm guessing you only need like the tiniest amount of it then, because that is a dinky bottle. What does it say? A multiple care ampoule formulated with propolis extract and royal jelly to revitalize dull skin. Apply a few drops onto face. Okay, that's why it's small. You hardly are supposed to use any of it. Still, how tiny is that? Then I bought a new sunscreen because I love Korean and Japanese sunscreens. Basically, I think they're much better than Western ones, personally, particularly the face ones. So this is the Centella Green Level Unscented sunscreen from Purito. So this is quite a well-known sunscreen. It's basically supposed to not have anything in it that's going to be nasty for you. And this is the unscented version because I did look at some of the ingredients in the original and thought they might irritate my skin. Personally, I will put a little thing up there with the actual like ingredients as to why I bought this version rather than the original. But it's SPF 50, PA quadruple plus. There's 4 pluses after that PA, so this is supposed to be like super protective, and it's oil free, and it's supposed to be not sticky and not have a white cast, so I'm going to put some of that on in a minute after my mask. Into makeup, I've got face powder, I've got contour powder, I've got new brow products, I've got new eyeshadow palette, mascara, a whole bunch of stuff that I'm going to throw on my face, and we're going to get some first impressions as I shove it on. The only thing I'm not going to be able to put on my face today is this, the Ultimate Moisturizing Overnight Honey Mask from COSRX. I bought this because I just love COSRX products. Like, I've never had a bad one. They make really good skincare. So I thought I would try this because my skin is really quite dry. And I do like honey-based products. So I'm going to leave this on a little bit longer, and then we're going to jump into applying everything else. Okay, peeling this off. By the way, the brand of this face mask was called Look at Me, which is not one I've come across before. Sort of pat this in a bit. Might not put on all the other skincare that I bought because I already feel very wet. It does feel really nice though, I definitely feel hydrated. Now that the mask has soaked in a little bit, we're going to move on to some of the other skincare. So this is the Whitening Essence. I'm going to take a few drops of this. I do like a pipette application method. I think it's quite handy. I like to just drop it directly onto the face. I mean, obviously with skincare, I can't really pronounce any judgment on it when I'm first trying it. I can tell you that it feels quite nice on the face, but as for its effectiveness, obviously I'm going to have to use something like this for quite a long while to see if it makes a difference to any uneven pigmentation in my skin, see if it brightens up any of those slightly pigmented spots. Should I use this? Let's just throw everything on. Okay, so this is little tiny little thing. This is so cute. This is very little. I'm just gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4. Definitely feels quite rich. Like, I only put a little bit on my face there, but it's spreading and I can definitely feel it. Putting plenty of skincare on is always a good test for a sunscreen as well, because I do usually have a lot of skincare on my face, and sometimes then when I put a sunscreen on top, or I try to put a sunscreen on top, it doesn't sit right, it breaks up, it goes super weird. So this will prove a little bit of a test of the sunscreen to see how well it sits on top of other products. So again, this is the Purito Unscented Centella sunscreen. Let's have a look at it. Oh, it's got a little tab on it. There we go. Oh, you don't need much of this. I might have a bit too much sunscreen. It definitely is quite a thin cream formula. Spreads very easily. Seems to be melding well with my skincare. It's not bunching up or going weird at all, which is always nice. And of course, usually I would spread my sunscreen down my neck, but I'm actually not planning on going outside or going anywhere today because we're still all, you know, coronavirus. I mean, not me personally, but the world. So I'm staying inside. Okay, this is where we hit a little patch where I don't have any new products. So I'm gonna quickly throw a few things I already had on. I'm gonna use the Missha Magic Cushion in shade 21. This is a Korean product, but it's not one I just bought. I've had this for a while and I've just never really used it. Then I'm also going to use just the Instant Age Rewind Concealer. And then I do have a new powder to try. So I'm going to quickly throw these on. And because this is K-Beauty, I'm going to use a puff instead of my usual sponge. Oh, like I say, this isn't new. I've had this for a while, but I've never used it. Okay, I think that looks quite nice. I don't like using a puff as much as a round sponge because sometimes I make a little like semicircular mark if I press the edge into my face accidentally, but they are like quite convenient. You know, I could prefer a round sponge, but these are fine. Ooh, I dropped it. Wax some concealer on. It works okay, it just takes a little bit of fiddling around the eye area there. Now we're going back into a new product that I just purchased. This has a label right over the front of it, which makes it hard to see what it is. But this is the No-Sebum Moisture Powder from Innisfree. Now the original No-Sebum powder from Innisfree is really good if you have oily skin and you want to control oil and keep your face matte throughout the day. I have drier skin, so it's not the greatest powder for me, but I did use it when my skin was more oily. Anyway, when I was browsing through Yesstyle, I noticed that they now have a No-Sebum Moisture one, which is part of the same range, but it's meant for drier skin. So if I'm going to try and get into this, it's got a lot of sticky things on it. Can I open it? Bear with me. It's like they don't want me to use it. So it's got a little filter on it with little holes so you don't get too much powder. And we're going to see how this powder performs on a drier skin type like mine. Like, I do want some mattifying. It's not like I have no oil in my skin, but I don't want it to be super drying. So I'm really hoping that, given that the original powder is so good, that this is gonna, okay, got some there, that this is gonna work out well for me. So, it does have a slight tint to it, but it's very pale. So hopefully it won't look at all yellow on my skin. I had that problem with the Beauty Pie powder. Seems to be setting everything nicely without changing the colour of my concealer, which is always a good start. So far, so good. I'm going to switch to a bigger brush for the rest of my face. Even though I have dry skin, I do like to powder my entire face. I just feel like other products apply better on top of powder. Other powder products, I mean, not other cream products. Sometimes I do basically an entire face of cream products, and then I don't use quite as much powder, but then I still like to basically set my face at the end. Like, I hate the feeling of stickiness. I hate the feeling that my foundation is moving around. I just don't like to feel tacky. I don't like it when my hair sticks to my makeup. I just like everything to be not necessarily look matte, but feel matte, so that I don't feel like my face is all heavy and sticky and gross. Like, I just hate that feeling of having like a unset face. With some products, they dry down more matte to begin with, and then you don't have that problem quite so much. But most of the products I use, and then on top of all of the skincare I usually have on, things just feel sticky if I don't use powder. So then obviously the question is can you find a powder that sets everything down but doesn't make your skin look all crepey and just like bring out fine lines and, you know, make any like little patches of dryness look super pronounced. I don't have a new blush or highlight, but I do have a new contouring palette. That was the main reason I started looking on Yesstyle, like I could say the other week, but it was like a month ago because stuff takes ages to get delivered, was because I find a lot of the time that being quite pale, contouring like powders and stuff are just too dark. Like I'll often use a like foundation powder that I've bought in like a slightly deeper shade than my skin tone, rather than something that's actually sold as a contouring powder, because the contouring powders are too dark. But I thought, with, you know, Korean people often being so pale, that I would buy a Korean contouring powder. So I've got this one, the Ink V shading from Purito. And it looks like this. So you can see it's quite pale, quite cool tone. It's got 3 shades in there. So I thought maybe this would work for me. So what am I going to do first? Yeah, let's do this before we do blush. I'm going to go into the middle shade first. I'm going to use the brush I just used for the powder under my eyes, this little setting brush from Real Techniques. I'm just going to dip in this powder. Oh good, it doesn't look too like powdery, it's not kicking back. See, I've just dipped my brush in and it's fine. So I'm going to rotate my brush and then I'm going to knock it off. I don't know how pigmented this is. Let's start the chin. Definitely subtle. Okay, that's what I want though. I want subtle contour. I don't want it to be like super obvious. See if we can make the chin look a little bit more pointed by adding some contour here at the sides. Okay, cheekbones. Let's do cheekbones. Okay, now I'm going into the darkest shade here, just with a tip of my brush, tap it off and just put that right at the top. Okay, I like this. Peri Peri, thank you. Thank you for making a contour powder for pale people. Just put a little bit up here around the hairline to blend. So when you do a cheekbone contour, it's a good idea to just blend the edges around and up into the hairline and back towards the ear, so that you don't have a stark line. It looks more joined together like a natural shadow would be. I am loving this so far. Again, Yesstyle put stickers right over the front of everything, which makes them a little bit less than pretty, but it's not important. Okay, so I've got new brow pencils, eyeshadow palette, some cream eyeshadow stuff. I've got a new mascara, which is supposed to be a non-smudging mascara, and my mascara always smudges, so I have high hopes for this. Like, if this is disappointing, I'll be sad. But I do like Hamish as a brand, so I'm hoping it's going to be good. First of all, I'm going to whack on some powder blush and powder highlight because I don't have any new ones to try, so I should be back in a second. I think that will do. I don't want to look super blushy today. Okay, moving on. I have new brow pencils. I am constantly in a search for a cool toned dark brown pencil. For some reason, that is difficult for people to make. Like, so many brown pencils are just too warm toned. So I got two from Etude House. This is the Drawing Eyebrow, and I have black brown, and I have grey brown. So we're gonna check these out, if I can get, again, with the stickers over everything. So this is a triangular shaped pencil. I don't own any that are this shape. So you've got a sort of wedge with a pointy end and a wider end. So this is grey brown. Let's start with this one. Sorry, my head's probably gonna go off camera because I need to actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so far, I like the texture of this. It's nice and firm, it's not too soft, so I'm not getting a huge amount of product coming off. I'm just using like the little pointed edge at the moment to create hair-like little strokes in my brow. I like this colour. It's definitely got a greyish undertone to it, but that works for me because I don't really have red in my hair. So far, so good. Let's add a little bit of the black brown, which I'm assuming is going to be darker. God, this just, oh, stuck on. So here is the black brown. Definitely darker. Can you see where I've just applied that in my arch here? Put a bit more of it down towards the tail there. Okay. Good job, Etude House. I am happy. Not sure about the shape of the, oh my god, I can't get the end off that one. I'll just use a spoolie on this one again. Not sure about the shape of the pencil. As it wears down, I don't know if it's going to become like a bit more difficult to do detailed strokes with, but we'll find out. For now, I think it's good. I'm going to whack on the other brow and be right back. Moving on now to the eyeshadow palette that I bought. This is also from Etude House. It is the Play Colour Eyes Peach Farm. Comes in a little cute packet like this. Let's open it up. There we go. It's got a cute overlay, which I'm guessing tells you what the shades are called, but given that they're not in English, I'm not going to be able to read them. But they've got little images as well, like leaves and a little peach and a watering can and what looks like a pumpkin. Like, can you see these? This is really, really cute. Anyway, we are going to do a quick eyeshadow look with this palette. Nothing too crazy. Can I get this? There we go. Get that off. You can see the shades now maybe a little bit more clearly. A lovely neutral everyday kind of palette. So I'm going to start with a transition shade for the crease, and I'm going to go in with just this pure peach colour in the middle here. Oh, quite pigmented. I'm going to take this pinkier shade and also use that in the crease, but with a slightly smaller brush. I will say these are not kicking up in the pan. You can see there's not a huge amount of powder, which is nice. Just blending again with that first brush. I'm going to take, I think, this sparkly shade and apply that on the lid. I'm going to use my finger. Oh, it's like a pink gold shift. I don't know if you can see this. You can see that shift in there. Not a huge amount is coming off onto my finger, so I'm going to put a little bit of effort into it. But once it's getting on the eye there, it is a pretty shade. One of my favourite eyeshadows of all time is a Clinique eyeshadow from the Strawberry Fudge eyeshadow palette, and it is a pink gold shift. So I am a big fan of shades like this. I wish the formula was a little bit softer and creamier. It would be easier to get the pigment off onto the eye. But it is a cute colour. Okay. Again with my finger, I think I'm going to take a little bit of this lighter pink shade that also has a little bit of glitter to it. That one feels a little bit softer. I'm going to put that near the inner corner. It's not a punchy eyeshadow, it's more subtle. It's got a little bit of glitter to it. I'd say it's more of a glitter than a straight up metallic. Let's take a little bit of this one here underneath. But I do have some other eye stuff to use, so I don't completely want to just do everything with this palette because I want to use everything else. I'd say if you're looking for a subtle peachy daytime palette, this is a nice one. You're not going to get like a super metallic, super glittery, over the top evening eye out of it, but you are going to get a really pretty, just subtle, shimmery daytime look. Let's try a little bit of this gold here and see what that's like. We'll just put a little bit, I'll use my finger again and put a little bit on the outer edge and see what that one's like. Ooh, I can definitely see that that is more gold, slightly darker gold. Again, it's sort of shimmery rather than like super, super metallic, but it is pretty. I think this would be quite a good palette to travel with just because the formulas are quite firm. I think you're not going to get a huge amount of kickback, a huge amount of mess. It'll probably travel quite well. Like I don't think they're going to break easily. Like you like some super, super fine, soft shadows, they just crack so easily. I think this is going to be pretty robust. It does have, I mean, it's a pretty cloudy mirror. It's not the greatest mirror, but I think it's pretty. I think it's a nice daytime shade. There's a good, I didn't use this, but there is a nice matte brown here at the end as well. So it's got a good shade selection for doing some pretty daytime peachy pink eyes. Yeah, okay, I like it. The other eye things I have this Bling Bling eye stick, also from Etude House, which is a cream eyeshadow. Okay, so it's a sort of champagne glitter. I'm going to put a little bit of this on the lower lash line. Sparkle under there. Put it in the inner corner. Okay, I like this. This is nice. It's not super pigmented. It's not super metallic. It is more of a subtle look. But, you know, Korean makeup trends and Western, like American makeup trends, are not the same. And I've noticed this with quite a few Korean products, is that they are more like cute, girly, subtle rather than pow. What else do I have? I have this tear eyeliner, also from Etude House. It's like a pen, like a brush liner, but it's glitter. It's kind of, it looks clear, but it's pink. Oh, did not mean to put all of that in my eyelashes. I've got it like on my under eye because I got it on my lashes, and then obviously it got from my lashes onto my, where I don't really want it, but never mind. Okay, that doesn't really go with everything else, but it's cute. I'll put it in my hand so you can see it a bit more. So there's the cream shadow stick that we used, and then there is the gel liner. So you can see it's like a glittery pink. They look quite similar. This one's a bit more peachy, this one's a bit more pinky. See if I can put some of this on the upper lash line. Okay, so I've put that on my lids now. So now we've got a lot of pink and a lot of glitter going down. Not sure that was the best idea for the eye look, but I wanted to try everything. Now I've got so much of this gel liner in my eyelashes. It is taking a while to dry. It's a very wet formula, so just be warned. I've got another eye thing. Like I just have too many eye products. Like I bought so many eye products. I have this jelly pot from Moonshot. which I'm probably not going to use on my eye. I'm just going to put some on my hand for you. It's a sparkly purple. There you go. Oh, my eyelids are so wet from that gel liner. Let me put a tiny bit on my hand so you can see this. It's so beautiful. Definitely more of an evening look. Can blend it out to be a bit more sparkly and subtle. I'm just gonna put this back away because I'm not gonna use this right now, but I'm excited to try it. I've heard good things about these and I've wanted to try one for ages and I only just got around to buying one. But that, oh, that's dried down really nicely as well. Okay, that's actually like dried down super quick. Okay, I'm gonna enjoy that because I like things that dry down. This eyeliner is still a bit wet, this one. But never mind, we're going to move on to mascara. This is from Hamish and this is the Dialism Smudge Stop Mascara. So I'm really going to hope this is not going to smudge. I am going to put it on my lower lash line where my mascara basically always smudges. This is what it looks like. Nice, simple, classy packaging. It has a slightly curved bristle wand. Now for the true test, the lower lash line. I like that the brush tapers down into a smaller point towards the end. My problem is my lower lashes are just like super long. I have to like try not, see I just dotted a bit, like I moved my eye and it wasn't dry yet and I dotted a bit on my under eye. This is what always happens. But then even if I manage to not get it on while it's wet and I manage to get it dry without smudging it, even once it's dry, it tends to transfer. So I'm just like trying to get it to dry without smudging it. I've already got a bit here, see if I can get that off in a sec. I don't have any lip products, I just realised. There's a flaw in my plan here. I've got everything else laid out and a no lip product. Let me get a gloss or something. Okay, so obviously right now I can't tell you if the mascara is going to smudge because it needs some time to see. So I'm going to check back in a bit. So I am quickly losing daylight here. So I wanted to check back in. It's been 4 hours, I want to say. Yes, it's been 4 hours. So a little update. I am super impressed with this mascara from Hamish. All mascara smudges on me. It doesn't matter if it says it's waterproof, it will smudge. Like under my eyes, like I have quite long lower lashes and typically like I get a ring of grey under my eyes, like within like 20 minutes, half an hour. And with this, I got a little bit under my eyes when I first applied it, like when it was still wet, like my lashes like touched my under eye and so I got a little blob. But apart from that, it has not smudged. Like since it's dried down, I have had no problems with it whatsoever. So this is going to be my new favourite lower lash mascara. It's a bit too natural for the top lashes. For me, I want a bit more volume, but for the lower lashes, like I think I'm going to be using this for a long time. Okay, what next? I think I put too much of this on. This is like the liquidy gel pink shimmery liner. If you can see here, it's sort of like cracked here where I've applied it, and it also sunk into some lines under my eye because it was just too wet and I just put too much of it on. I think you need to kind of delicately put a few dots of this along the lower lash line for like a little pretty sparkly effect. Don't just like paint it all over the place like I did, because it has kind of gone a bit weird and sort of cracked a little bit. It's a cream eyeshadow stick. It's a good cream eyeshadow stick. I haven't really got anything else to say about it. The eyeshadow palette I talked quite a lot about as I was applying it. I do really like it. I think it's a good everyday eyeshadow palette. It's pretty, it's not like too impactful. It's quite subtle, but you know, there are days for that. I really like the brow products. They've stayed put. They look good with my hair colour. They don't look red in any way, so that's great. I'm so happy with that because I always find that pencils are a little bit too warm toned for me personally. This is great. This is the Ink V shading from Peri. And this is the contour powder. If you're super pale and you are looking for a contour powder, I would really recommend this because it does not look weird or dark or patchy or too warm or too cold or like too brown. Like it really is a very natural product, and then you can build it up. It's got those 3 shades in it that I think are all good and useful, and that's really, really nice. What next? The powder. Basically, I'm having a pretty good day. Like, apart from this kind of breaking up, I think I like pretty much everything. So this powder, my skin definitely feels dry. Like, it doesn't feel tacky, but it doesn't feel quite as bone dry as when I use most powders. Like, I think I could probably go in and, like, if I wanted to, like, if I put some pressure on my fingers, I could probably like smudge things about a little bit. Like, it's that level of set down, if that makes sense. But it's nice. Everything has stayed in place. It doesn't look too dry. It doesn't look too matte. I don't feel oily, but I don't feel like, you know, like when something's really dry on your face and you just feel like your skin's being pulled tight across your face. I don't feel like that either. What else to say about it? Yeah, usually I would put a setting spray on after my powder to take away that kind of dryness and matteness a little bit. I didn't do that today, and I still think everything looks quite natural and not glowy, but not like super matte. So I'm happy with the powder. I'm going to keep on using that. The cushion foundation from Missha, the shade is a really good match for me. I probably had a little bit too much skincare for underneath this particular formula because it is quite hydrating. Yeah, it says Missha Magic Cushion Moisture. Like, it's a hydrating formula, and I had a lot of skincare on underneath it, which made it feel a little bit heavy. I probably wouldn't need as much skincare under this as I put on today, but it's lasted very nicely. I feel like it's sat on top of the skin and on top of my pores in a few places, but I think that's because I had too heavy a base on before I even went in with this. But it's a nice hydrating formula that hasn't broken up, so that's always a good thing. The skincare, like I said, you can't really evaluate skincare straight away, apart from the fact that it felt nice going on my skin. It did hydrate. My skin doesn't look dry, but it doesn't feel oily. It doesn't feel greasy. I love the sunscreen. The sunscreen, like, I had no problems with it. It wasn't greasy. It wasn't like, it's a water-based sun cream, and it's like doesn't have any essential oils in it, which is what I was looking for before when I was thinking, how is this one different to the original one? The unscented one has no essential oils in it. So if you have sensitive skin or you're acne prone and you want to avoid any essential oils in your sunscreen, then the this one is an excellent option. I don't think it's affected the wear of the makeup at all. Obviously, I'm trying new products, so it's kind of hard for me to say that, but everything applied really, really nicely. Nothing is broken up, nothing slid about weird. It didn't pill or peel or mash badly with the other skincare that I had on. And I had like a lot of hydration going on my face with that mask that I put on first. So things could have gone very badly, but everything went well. So that is great. This is weirdly expensive for such a tiny, tiny thing, but we shall see how we get on with it over time. Have I missed anything? I don't know if I've missed anything. Obviously I didn't use this jelly pot today. I just swatched it on my hand, but I liked the way it dried down immediately. I think that was everything. I hope that was everything. I hope I haven't missed anything out. Yeah, so I think my favourite products from today are definitely the mascara and the contour powder and the sunscreen. These 3 products are, I would say, excellent. Not if you're looking for like a more pigmented contour powder, you probably won't like this. But if you're pale and you're looking for something subtle, I'd really recommend it. Okay, I think that is everything. Today was actually a very successful makeup day. I really like the way everything turned out. I think it looks really cute. I'm like super protected from the sun with my SPF 50 and SPF 50. Like, everything has a lot of sun cream in it, but I don't think there's any flashback. I will do a quick test. Hang on, bear with me. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna see Everything looks good. There's no flashback from the sunscreen or from the powder. And I'm gonna sneeze. Damn this hay fever. Just to let you know that prices on Yesstyle change quite frequently. So if you click the link, it may not exactly match the price that I have put up, but they have sales like all the time. Like they have a lot of sales on in Yesstyle. It takes a while to get delivery, but I've never had a delivery not arrive. I'd never had any problems with them whatsoever. You just have to wait like a month for things to arrive sometimes because it is coming from abroad. Yeah, so go check out Yesstyle, order yourself some K-beauty. I'm sure you won't regret it. Particularly skincare, sunscreens are excellent, and if you're pale, then you have some really good options with some Korean brands. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are safe and happy and healthy wherever you are. Okay, bye.